Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I walked all the way down to Target just to make the video I just made. I really didn't have no purpose other than just make a video talking about the concept that came to me this morning. And I encourage y'all to check it out. 1326 or something like that. I don't know, whatever the last video was. But it was really helpful concept in terms of letting go of things that you may be devoted to that you have no business holding on to. And that you don't have to walk down that path alone when it's time to do so. That's really what it was all about, man. So yeah, man, I just feel good, you know. I feel very physically good right now. The change in my diet, putting vegetables in my diet really helped. And you know, that's what it is. I think my body had been missing that. You adding the different things to your body, like seafood and rice. Maybe you added some apple or something like that. You wonder why you don't have the energy. But what I did was I put so many different types of steamed vegetables in my last meal till it rejuvenated me quite a bit. Doubled up on my apples these last couple days, apple intake, doubled it. It really helped. And so that's what I'm telling y'all, man. We just gotta put more healthier stuff in our bodies if we want to have healthier attitude. Sometimes it starts with a healthier body, and in having a healthier body, you will then be able to have more energy, more focus, and just ultimately better everything for yourself. So it starts with the intention to be healthy, the commitment to eat healthy, and then from there, consistency to continue that process. And so that's what I'm here to tell y'all, man. I think that I'm gonna feel a lot better so long as I continue on this path of eating the way that I've been eating. And even though I've had some stomach issues over the course of the last couple of weeks, I don't have any right now after changing my diet. So we'll see how this goes over the course of a couple of months. Hopefully everything goes, you know, my discipline remains, because I don't particularly love to eat this way. I don't. But you know, with me getting older and me being so intentional on working out and not seeing the results that I'm looking for, I know it comes from not bombarding myself with things like broccoli and carrots and corn, you know, whatever types of stuff. You got to put more of that in your body. When I got in the best shape of my life, I think for me, I was eating for an extended period of time a bunch of canned foods and rice, because I didn't have a fridge over there at Lenox the last year I was there. So with my morning meal, what I used to do was the opposite of what made any sense. I would eat rice and canned vegetables at like noon. And then what I would end up doing was eating oatmeal at night. And what that ultimately allowed for me to feel was energy food going into the body that would be clean. And then working out hard, and then finishing up the night with the heavy stuff that ultimately sits on the gut and ultimately puts weight on the body. And so when you work out hard enough and you eat that way, you end up finding out that you put muscle on quickly. And this is before my stomach issues got as bad, so I wasn't having anything eating away at that conditioning level. And so I started seeing 6-packs, started slimming down, and the food didn't taste like nothing. I hated the food, but it put me in the best shape that I had ever been in. Eating like that for like a year almost, or months at a time, or what have you. And so that's what I'm here to tell y'all, man. Just sometimes eating stuff that doesn't necessarily taste that great, and maybe you can doctor it up to make it taste better. I'm allergic to most seasonings, but sometimes that's the way to go. That's the way to go, is to try to fulfill yourself with multiple vegetables, multiple fruits, and just fill up on that as much as you can. Protein is necessary for a lot of bodies, calcium and things like that. You would follow your doctor to tell you what's specific to your body, but generally what I found is that's what my body reacts best to, and I've been staying away from a lot of that. Not even putting any carrots in my body. My body reacts so well to carrots, and I ain't had a carrot in over a year until yesterday. It's like, man, I bought 2 different types of carrots, and I immediately, within hours after eating that, felt the difference. It's like, yo, this is that feeling I remember I had when I was eating carrots every day with every salad. And when I wouldn't have carrots, how my body would feel different. It's like, yo, you've been lacking something that your body genuinely loves to feel the energy off of. So it's like, these are the type of things I just had to remind myself. So, yeah, I just want people to be as healthy as possible. Exercise is half the battle, man. Half the battle. Jogging and all of that, it ain't going to put that definition on you until your diet starts to adjust in a way that your body really, really appreciates. And then when you start having those two things going on at the same time, that's when you start really seeing your body result in the way that you want to see it. And the way I've been eating lately, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the truth is, my stomach doesn't allow for me to eat like that. I can't just simply do that and put on weight. My body's going to kick my behind when I don't eat right. So, yeah, man, these are the concepts that have been coming as well. It ain't just been the meditation telling me how to handle things like what we talked about in the last video. The meditation also brought me to a space where it's like, yo, let's incorporate some things into your diet that you're not eating. Quiet spaces from which to think are so important for those of us who are looking for answers. Meditation, communication with the Most High consistently. And the more you do it, the more the concepts and the path to answers come your way. You do it once and never do it again, it's not going to make no sense. You're going to be sitting in the dark and you're wondering why your mind is wandering. But if you keep coming back to it, just like you do with practice, just like you do with brushing your teeth, just like you would if you're eating properly and you're trying to see something happen, it's the same process. The more you do it, the more comfortable it becomes, the stronger you become within it. And then from there, the easier your path to your answers will come. It has to be a practice, and you got to be patient with it, especially if you've never done it before in your life. You got to keep coming back to it. That's the key to finding that, for which people say they find enlightenment in meditation. Those are people who've worked it into their overall every day or every 2 days or whatever the rhythm is equation. And I think the people who meditate the most are able to have more patience in a lot of cases, be able to handle unprecedented realities, things that happen in a moment's notice, crises. A lot of people who meditate regularly in the moment find themselves more equipped to handle what happens in those moments. Those who continue to come back to that space of peace from which to find peace. When it's time to find peace in a shorter amount of time, they can find it. Give a man who meditates an hour every day 5 minutes to meditate. In his year 6, year 7 of meditating, he can take 5 minutes of quiet time and get what he needs from it. You see what I'm saying? And that's why strength is built from every practice. Resistance is built from every crisis. If you continue to go through as much as you do, you may wear out. But too will you gain strength, especially if you are handling it in a way of faith. And that's what I believe. It's difficult because that can teeter either way. But yeah, man, I'm just in a good space of mind, I think, right now. God has been so very good to me in this era of my life, as you guys know, and with all that I've been through in the last year. I've just been asking the God to send me down the right path, even if it's an awkward or uncomfortable one. Even if it don't necessarily feel right that I'm walking down this way. If you tell me to walk this way, just give me the strength to do it. And the obedience is in place. The wisdom to be obedient is in place. I just need the requisite amount of energy, patience, courage, etc. to do it. And that's where he's working on me. Trust him the first time. When he say yes, he's yes, he's yes. His no's his no's. And even if you feel like you're receiving mixed signals, it may be for a purpose. That you react to mixed signals may be the mindset from which unlocks something that he wants you to see. He may be trying to teach you a lesson in that place of mind, that space of mind. That's why communication with God and trust is important, because I'm finding that he may test me. He may be looking for me to react a certain way to him telling me no, to know where I'm at in regards to my obedience, to know where I'm at in regards to my willingness to do what it is he says, regardless of what he's saying. That's what I think I've experienced a couple times in the last year or so. And the mixed signals, they led to something when I reacted to them, to a specific concept that only comes from being confused, that only comes from asking God, what did you mean? And so you never know, if you ask the Lord to teach you and train you in ways that will make you resilient enough to handle things as they come your way, or whatever specific path you're on, whatever's best for that path. If you're going to be running uphill, he's going to have to put you on a hill to train you, you know what I mean? If you're going to have to be the type of person who loses a lot in life, if things keep getting taken from you, you're going to have to learn how to take losses. So it's like, if you ask the Lord to train you, he's going to train you. If you ask the Lord to equip you with strength, the strength will come, sometimes in some very uncomfortable ways. And so that's what I'm here to say. It's like, I've been asking for training. Like, could you help me handle things better so I don't keep making the same mistakes, or perceiving that mistakes are coming, when maybe all I got to do is just be obedient to avoid them. And that obedience comes from having a relationship with you. So can you give me that? I don't necessarily want to go toward people. I don't know if people can help me, but I know if I go to the source, maybe if my relationship is tight with the source, you can start leaning me into the direction that's meant for me. Lean me into the stuff that helps teach me something that maybe I just can't seem to figure out in the world. Maybe I got some cultures in my life that only teach me how to do the worst things in my life. I need you to undo those cultures so I can have the mindset that I need to have for my life. Will you train me so that I can receive the truth in a graceful way? Because that's a very difficult one. A lot of people are living in lies, but it's going to be the rug ripped out from under them when the truth comes, you know? How can I be equipped for the big truth in my life that I have to live with? Can you make me strong enough for that? Can you equip me with the understanding of how to live with that when that comes my way and it turns my world upside down? Can I have that strength that allows me to be cool when that happens? Stay focused when that happens. And see, these are the concepts that we need to have. This is the grace that's afforded us. A lot of us don't know it because we ain't been taught that. But you can ask Lord to prepare you for the realities of your life. Make it so that you're not so attached to certain things that you're ultimately going to lose. Make it so that you're able to walk away from things that are about to be ripped from you. Make it so that you stay in circumstances as they're uncomfortable when you're supposed to, instead of just walking away like your natural mind to tell you to. That strength and that training and that relationship with God will put you in a position to be able to ask him for that training and then receive it. Without the relationship, you may not even know to ask, let alone how to receive the training that comes from asking. And that's what I try to bring into people's minds in this channel. That's what I want to kind of bring you in regards to this mindset I'm in. When I was going through the worst of things, when I first got on this side of town, I said I was a preacher to my circumstances because, what's up, man? I was a preacher to my circumstances because that was the only way I knew how to cope with my fear. It was to turn to God. That's all I knew how to do. It's just say, man, I believe in God. It's my faith. I'm walking in it. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm trusting him in it. I didn't even know if I was actually doing that, but that's what made me feel better. That was a coping mechanism for me, is to turn to God and preach. Instead of crying or wondering or whining or turning to a bottle or turning to drugs, my thing was turn on the camera and speak of the love of the Lord. Make me feel better. It's the most difficulties in my life. But that gave birth to an understanding that I could, even when I wasn't afraid. At this point in time, I'm not afraid. But I'm doing that, and it feels organic in nature. And I think it comes from reaching out to God for the last month and a half since the turn of the year, since my grandfather passed, basically. He put it in my heart to pray for someone. And that assignment that I believed was coming my way kept bringing me back to God by default of the intention to pray for somebody else. And everything that unfolded from those concepts is what you see in the day. It initially just started with me getting the notion like, yo, this is somebody you need to be praying for all the time. But there may not have been nothing wrong with them. It was just that this was the hub that was going to bring me closer to God. This was the totem pole that was ultimately going to have me and God connected. He may not have had nothing special going on with that person's life, no more than anyone else. But it was time for me to connect with him. And this is how he knew I was going to keep coming back. That's what I think I just got through experiencing. That's exactly what I think I just got through experiencing. And to a point, I think it's great for me. It's great for me because I was also in a space early on where all I was seeing was negativity. All I was talking about was the horrors that were going on in Gaza. I had experienced so much death in my phone that it started affecting my sensitivity. I needed to reconnect with God to see where he wanted me to go with my conversation. Because you keep talking about that stuff and that would be the only thing going through your mind. Nothing really positive, nothing beautiful. Just the concept of genocide and the injustices of the world. And it can deteriorate your belief in anything being good around you or anything being good out there beyond you. You won't want to turn around no corners, as we talked about in the last video. Because every corner you think could be something potentially as evil and horrible as that. In order to be the world that I want to see in the world, I got to first believe that I can perceive what good actually is. And I wasn't seeing a whole lot of it. I had seen it in my life. I was raised by a good woman. I had great family, good people around me. But when you find yourself in an isolated space and all you see is genocide in your phone, it can deteriorate your belief in goodness. If you allow it to. And they're screaming every day, hey, let's raise awareness, and you see no change. Hey, let's do something about it, let's talk about it, and you see very little incremental change. It becomes an empty pit of frustration. And these are the times I'm in, man. I think that I'm somewhat to blame for all of this, just by being an American, as we talked about in a video very recently. Just by being an American person, I feel like I'm culpable to some of the evils that, or responsible for some of the evils that this country has done to other people. You eat away at your confidence in yourself. It can send you spiraling down a path you know where. Who knows where? Is what I'm trying to say. So it's like, I'm of the mindset that this was time. It was time for me to start the year, to turn the corner and start believing in something greater than myself. To trust in something greater than myself and get close to it so that it can start leading me down a path of positivity, a relationship with him, and then furthermore, continuing on this path that I'm on, which for a long time wasn't yielding me no positive results because I was doing things the wrong way. Not willing to listen to God, going down my own path with different things, believing that what I saw was what it was, and therefore, that's all it was to it. It wasn't no other way forward, just what it is that I think, and therefore I'm married to this outcome and this concept. And even if all the signs from the universe are telling me this ain't it, even if it don't even look like this is it, I'm devoted to it and I'm stuck to it. That's what a lot of my decisions was about. That nonsense. That's what a lot of what I was doing was actually about. That's why I find myself in circumstances that don't seem too favorable at this time. Because I would be married to outcomes, married to things that were not necessarily about to line up. But it was no face that they weren't. It was just me doing what I need to do and then just expecting things to line up or whatever However, I saw that going, but it didn't lead to nothing but difficulty, and then furthermore, strength that came from living through difficulties. So the concept to be obedient and try that out, concept of listening to God, even when he's telling me to go down a path that may not look that good to me, but he knows what comes with it, and it's a better path. Try that out. That's what I'm trying to do now. And it's strange because the world is telling me to continue to look for money, to hurry up and find a wife, to follow culture and concepts of what should be acceptable, which in a lot of cases in this country is indifference and classism and all different types of other disrespects. Stuff that don't really align with the goodness in my heart. Don't really align with the truth of what the Lord told me he wanted me to be about. But practical thinking will have you following it anyway. And that practicality is aligned with the enemy in a lot of cases. Whole lot of cases on this earth, in this reality, in this particular dimension, so to speak. That practicality gonna have you being awful in the Western world. Just to keep up with it. Just to align with what it wants you to do. And so that's what I'm here to tell y'all. Let God guide you away from circumstances that are no good for you, even though you may be devoted to it or unhappy about having to walk away from what you don't want to walk away from. Let the Holy Spirit handle these things. You know, I speak to the concept of being in the right place at the right time, and I don't know what I'm walking up on or what my role is in regards to it. But one thing's for certain, man. I walk with the Holy Spirit.
I don't want to see you again. Get out of my car. We're not playing games anymore. Get out of my car. Get the fuck away from me or I'll have you arrested. Get away. Get out. Destiny said she'll let you in the room. You have the fucking room for a week. Get the fuck out of my car.
I tell you, man, if I've learned anything in this life, it's that following the path God wants you on will keep you out of circumstances that are no good for you. Even if it looked the wrong way to your eyesight. Following where God wants you to go is the best path for you. That's essentially what this has all been about. Don't take them substances. Don't follow those practical reality thoughts that they say, yo, you just got to be awful in order to keep up with the Joneses. The Joneses are lost. The Joneses are warped by cultures that are meant to destroy them in a lot of cases. The Joneses are reacting to not necessarily what they know is coming, but the paranoia of what they think is coming. Don't have God attached to it. A lot of cases. It's preventative of things that are not coming, creating threats that are ultimately coming because of that paranoia. It's lost. That's what I'm here to tell y'all. It's lost. And following the lost doesn't lead you nowhere but further lost. This is why I speak the way I do, because I've lived that a little bit in my own way, and it ain't lead me anywhere good. Not to say that I'm not happy where I am, because I am, but I should be in greater spaces if I followed the Holy Spirit. But like I always tell you, you do things the right way, and you get there sooner. You do things the wrong way, and he can teach you some lessons and still get you there. You're just gonna take a longer path. You're just gonna waste some time, and time is precious. And so that's what's on my mind, man. I want people to really feel good about what's coming through their phone right now as I speak. I've meditated a lot about these concepts. I walk in peace. Though chaos may be around me, I walk in a space of serenity, and it's because of the practice of meditation that I've been engaging in consistently. and I believe it'll help you too. I didn't make up that concept. Obviously, I just adapted to it. I started one day and I'm keeping it going. I walked away from it at one point and I came back to it. All of that is acceptable, man. Just let the Lord guide you. That's what I tell you. Let him guide you, man. Every step you take, everything that you think, welcome him into those spaces from which those decisions are made. When you feel like you've found something that's meant for you, welcome him into those spaces for which those decisions are ultimately found. Because a lot of times what we think is meant for us ain't really meant for us, or who we think we are is not who we actually become. A lot of times we're welcoming things in our lives in a random moment. They're going to stick around. We're going to change from this point. Your whole mindset going to change. This for what you're bringing into your life may not be meant for more than what the moment you're in. It's just like buying clothes. They only in for a short period of time. Then it's like, all right, well, this out of style now. Am I just gonna keep staying with it? Just wearing these shoes down. They're not even clean shoes. They're overworn at this point. Now it's time to welcome something new. But if we're devoted only to one shoe, or one type of shoe rather, then how are we ever gonna welcome something new, something cleaner, something better, something that looks more presentable, that's best for the walk we're walking toward? If not for welcoming new things into our lives. Being so aligned and being devoted to stuff that ain't for you will have you wearing shoes for too long, have you engaging in concepts that are not for you, well past the time you're supposed to be letting these things go. And that's how we have to look at people and places and things that we find ourselves devoted to. And that's kind of what we've been talking about in the last video. This is a carryover from that, of course, but like they go together basically. These two videos. You let things go, man. And you let God tell you when it's time to. You know? And when you find something that's for forever, don't toy with that. When the Lord says, hey, this is really meant for you for the rest of your life, we're not letting that go. Don't toy with that. Don't bring temporary things into the situation that risk it. Getting bored or whatever. That's specific in a lot of cases to relationships and marriages. The Lord told you this is your forever person. They can put up with your forever thing. Every bit of changes you go through, they just able to just breeze through it. And then you betray their trust because you just want to engage in some lust, or you found something exciting, and you're going to lose that forever person, and you're going to be out there. Maybe God didn't make nobody else for you. Maybe this was when you stumbling into the right person. Now you fumble that. Now you're like, man, every marriage after this don't work because he didn't make nobody else for you. Not like that. You had that one person, you lost that one person. They had many options for their path. You were one of many people that they could spend their forever with. But God only gave you one. And you fumbled that. So now look at you. Wife number 3, wife number 4, man, it ain't gonna work. It's like the last one ain't worked. Why? Because God gave you that one and you didn't respect it. You didn't listen to him. You didn't trust him. Or you thought you knew better. You ignored them signs. You took that path. And now, you're just hoping he creates something else that's meant for you while you keep on looking. There was a chance that shouldn't have been taken. I know the word is taken, but you get the point. It wasn't worth it, man. Your loyalty, your devotion to the people that you were supposed to be with is your lifeline to the happiness that the Lord wants for you for a long time. You may be in a space where you can have 1 million people at your doorstep. You may have been in a space where the culture that you're in tells you that it's okay for you to have a side piece or 2 side pieces. But the woman that God gave you, she wasn't going to be able to deal with that. And it was going to be you choosing. You wasn't going to have no either or. You weren't going to have your cake and eat it too, rather. You had to choose either or. And a lot of us too selfish, too stupid too bored, too willful in our own mind that we just let those people walk. Or we let the pessimism in our own mind take over. Oh, she cheating on me anyway. Oh, she ain't gonna be happy with me. I don't have enough money. I can't keep this woman, not the long way. That type of stuff. Not turning inward and letting God talk you through that with the meditative spaces from which you can go to get the answers you need and how to handle these things. Lord, make me strong enough to deal with temptation. I know this temptation ain't no good for me. And I know this is supposed to spiral me into a space for which I never have nothing meant for me. I don't know which way to go, maybe. I can't tell. I'm getting mixed signals. I don't think I'm connecting with you at all. Keep coming back till he do. That's what I tell you. If you can find the space from which to. Some of us work so hard, have so many different things going on, get so overworked, get so worked, get frustrated. Our partner get frustrated with us because of it. Ain't home enough and different things like that. But you just gotta get through the era you in. Because era ain't forever. Maybe your husband don't be home a lot. Maybe the gardener look a certain way to you. But you can't mess up that because you don't have nobody coming. This was your person. This was your man or your woman. You can't toy around like that. The devil definitely wants you to go with that path and get caught and now lose that person. And now you got custody issues and all different types of stuff. That's the path of unhappiness that the devil always wants those he's pointed at to be on. God don't want you to go down none of that. He gonna tell you how to keep that marriage going. He gonna tell you how to stay away from that person that ultimately you see a certain way while your wife is away or your husband's away. He gonna tell you how to get through those moments, but you got to be strong and you got to ask for that strength. There's a million different ways it can go. I'm not a married man. I don't know. But maybe it's incumbent upon you to forgive because it's the only person you get. And maybe they made a mistake. Maybe you're supposed to see them through it. That requires strength. The world gonna tell you definitely not do that. But if you follow God, he'll tell you exactly how to go. And that's the point. Sometimes the world is practical. Hey, this person did this, get back at them. This person did that, leave them where they at. That person did this. Now you got to, it's like these are practical thoughts that the world thinks it understands, but the world is in the dark. It don't know what come with what. It never knows what comes with what. It just knows what came with somebody else having it. So therefore that data is what you follow. That data ain't going to tell you nothing about how it is when it's in your hands. That data ain't going to tell you nothing about what it's like in the times that you're living in when you get it. That ain't your experience. Or maybe it is, but that's the point. Only the one who created you knows for certain what comes with what. So as you're welcoming things into your life and rebuking other things in your life and hoping for the best, but maybe not coming up with the best in regards to it, that's the truth. That's the truth. That the only one who truly knows what's best for you is the one who's trying to communicate with you, for which you don't listen to in a lot of cases. He knows this, what comes with what. If I do this, then I get that. The world don't know. And so that's why I'm here to tell y'all, man. Just understand that your relationship with the Most High, for those of us who are believers, is essential to us having an understanding of how to move in whatever way we need to, stay, let go, stay for a time, identify something as something we're supposed to keep forever or for a short time, all of these different concepts. You're only going to get a true compass from a consistent relationship with the Most High, in my opinion. Through my eyesight, through the life that I've been in, doing things the other way and then turning this way. It's the only way he's going to line you up with the steadfast nature of following the path that maybe looks like it's more or less not the one that makes sense to the world around you. Which leads down toward the best things for you. So I pray that you're able to do that. I pray that I'm able to do that. That's hard. It's hard. When you think you found something that's meant for you, or you you like a place, or you like a certain situation, you don't know what's coming. You know, as we talked about in that last video, you don't know. It may not be what ultimately is better than what you got in your mind. But that relationship with God is telling you, hey, this is where you're going to find everything I have for you. Or this is going to lead you to being the best blessing you can be. And you're going to learn so many lessons from being that blessing. But you got to take this path over here. BF44. I thank you all for watching.